Well, hey, everybody. My name is Tanner Mulvihill. I'm the owner of Bayfield Home Loans, and I'm joined today by
And Marley Green with Century 21 New Millennium and Embrey Mill resident.
and it is always great to chat with you about the market in Embrey Mill. So we're going to get right to it. Let me go ahead and pull up our first listing that we're going to talk about, and that is 1216 Coastal Avenue. So what's the rundown on this?
Yep, so this one sold very competitively, just closed at $775. Was only on the market for 3 days, so it went very, very fast, which the ones that have really nice mindful updates to them tend to go pretty fast in this neighborhood. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous outside home. You can tell they did some really good curb appeal.
Yep.
And then I personally think the updates they did inside the home were just very smart, thinking of future resale down the road. So if anybody has questions on, what kind of updates those were inside the house, you can send me a message and I'm happy to share my insight on, what upgrades give you the most bang for your buck when you go to sell.
Perfect. And we can also include a link that folks can click through to check out the photos before they get shut down by the NMLS. So then that way they can see what they were looking at. But so that is the one that we are talking about that closed. Let me go ahead and get over to a couple that we have on the market right now. And the first one I'd like to chat about is 216 Hosta Way. So my initial impressions from 216, they're asking 789, and the one we just looked at closed at 775. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so this one's been on the market as of recording today, 45 days. So a little bit longer than we typically see in this neighborhood.
Yep.
Inside, it doesn't have quite as many upgrades as some of the homes that sold pretty quickly in the neighborhood. It's kind of builder grade level updates throughout, but it does have a very lovely open floor plan. It's got a lot of above grade finished square foot. Just over 3,000. So it is a larger floor plan, but definitely has room for the new buyer to come in and kind of make it their own.
Perfect. And I see this was built in 2021. So, this size, like you mentioned, if you got 4 or 5 kids, you're going to need some space. So hopefully this will be going soon for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
All right, let me get the next one that I'd like to chat with you about. Now, this one kind of caught my eye because it is there was a price decrease. And this is 313 Embrey Mill Road. Looks like they must have just dropped it right under 7. So that leads me to a good question for you. Why did they choose $699.9 for this particular property on this price point? Can you talk a little bit about how that works?
Yep, it is. Price is right psychology. People really love to see a slightly lower number on the front end. It starts with a 6, looks a lot better than starting with a 7. So
Right.
You see it all the time. I mean, everywhere with everything in life that has a price to it, but you see it a lot in real estate. Just makes the sticker shock a little bit more palatable for
Right. And then also too, as a loan officer, if I say, hey, and they're good to go up to 700,000, you're like, okay, cool. Well, this search wouldn't have come up for you when you were sending the listings to a client until they dropped it under 7. So that's kind of the psychology too of like, all right, you're hopefully opening up for more buyers once you drop it like that.
Yeah, most buyers, they get set up, at least on my end when I do it, it's usually in $25,000 increments.
Okay.
So yeah, it is good just to keep those numbers in mind when you're setting a list price so you don't exclude a huge portion of buyers that might have either a self-imposed cap or a lender-imposed cap on how high they can go.
And that's a really good point too that I'd like to address. And that is, I think as the rates are starting to really come down, where people thought their budget is and where they actually maybe are becoming two different things. And unfortunately, we saw the other way too, where they're like, oh, I only want to spend $2,000 a month. And you go, well, that doesn't buy much anymore. But we're starting to see that payment is heading down for folks.
Yeah, I would say if you're currently set up to get listings sent over to you, it might be a good time to check in with your lender to see if that's still your cap or if things have changed with the way the interest rates have been kind of trickling down the past few weeks.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Now we saved the best for last. So we're actually going to click through some of the photos on this. And you were bringing this one to my attention. You said this Tanner has all the bells and whistles. So go ahead. Give me the rundown on 360 Pepperidge. I mean, was this on the market for a minute and a half or what was kind of the situation?
Absolutely. It was on the market for 2 days
Okay.
showing. So went very, very fast. And kind of like we were talking about earlier, there are updates that you can do to your house that will help help you get more bang for your buck when you go to sell. And then there are updates that you can do to your house, hopefully for your own pleasure while you're living in it, but that certainly will get your house a lot of attention.
Right.
This house looks like they did just about everything that you could do to make it fabulous. They updated the lighting throughout.
I'm looking at that right now. Yep.
Yep, they have a very popular flooring choice, very neutral paint colors. When you get to the kitchen is
Yep.
just amazing. You see the double ovens, wine fridge, definitely a gourmet kitchen. They've done the built-ins in the pantry, a little bit more durable than the wire shelving. But yeah, I mean, it's just a stunning house. They even did closet systems in I think all the closets, and certainly the primary bathroom has all the bells and whistles too. So really went all out on this one. I can't imagine there's too much a buyer would want to do to this house moving in.
Right. That it'd be tough to find something. We're looking at a property that was built in 2022. So, this has very little wear and tear on it would be my guess, especially the way these photos are pulling up for me here. Oh, let me get back to that real quick. There we go. So I can see why you really said this one is very nice and we should kind of check it out. So for the folks that are out there, we talk a lot about the photos and the staging that we see. Can you touch a little bit about on the staging for a property like this? Like, how do you stage something that really pops, and how do you make it pop?
Yeah, so staging a house, the general rule of thumb, or at least what I tell my sellers, is you want to make it as close to what you would consider an Airbnb as possible. So
Okay.
essentially what that means to me is, first and foremost, depersonalizing the home of, personal photos or diplomas or plaques, anything that
Yep.
is going to kind of give buyers a clue to who you are. And that's not really because we're trying to play, secret detective or anything, or keep, your identity super private. It's just buyers, when they come into the house, have maybe 15, 30 minutes that they're going to be in it. And we really want them looking at your living spaces and figuring out where they're going to put their furniture and how they're going to
Yep.
make it, personalized to them. We don't want them stuck in your home office staring at your college diploma, trying to figure out if they know you, or what you do. And that's just, human nature. That's just in us to try to figure out, as much as we can about people. So it's all totally normal. But for staging, we really just want to make it clean, as presentable as possible, nothing super distracting, just because they have such limited time in the house. You really want them to be looking at their spaces to see how they could put their stuff in it.
Oh, you know what? I think I've found the new show for HGTV. You take me on a tour of 3 properties, and I have to write out like who these people are. One's a Secret Service agent, and this guy apparently is a pilot, and see who gets the closest to what they actually do for life. So
Yeah, that'd be a good show. I'd watch it.
yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful property. The size wise, tell me a little bit about the size. Is this kind of as big as we're going to see for Embry? Oh, wow. We just got to the master bath.
Oh yeah, it's a nice bathroom.
Pretty nice. Yeah. So size wise, how's this stacking up? Is this on the upper end of what we're going to see in Embrey Mill for the folks that are watching us potentially on YouTube here and they're not familiar with Embry?
Yeah, it's a pretty big house. Embry, one of the things that makes us kind of a unique neighborhood is we have not only all different style of houses, from the garden 55 and older condos to the townhouses to the single family homes, but even just looking at the single family homes, there is a wide range in sizes. Some that are just main level bedrooms with no upstairs, all the way up to 4-story homes that we have in the neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
So this is one of the larger floor plans. It's in the newest section of the neighborhood. So like you said, it's, pretty brand new.
Yep.
And it's where they're going to be building out some more of the amenities for the neighborhood. But yeah, for people who aren't familiar with Embrey Mill, this is on the higher end of the square footage for homes, but it's not the largest home in the neighborhood, but pretty typical.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful property. So I think let me get back to the listings here. So it'll be interesting to see what that actually goes for next month when we're going to talk about what the price point was, because if it was on the market 2 days, that would indicate to me, and based on the pictures we just saw, there was a little bit of a bidding war going on there. So it'll be interesting to see what we got. But Anne, as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for the service you provide for your clients in Embry and anywhere else. So if anybody's looking to purchase or buy coming up, please keep Anne in mind. She will do an outstanding job for you. And it's not just Embry that you can help in. You can help all over the place too. So
Yep. Nope. Happy to help. Would love to be able to pick my new neighbors.
There you, there you go. Well, Ann, thank you again for your time, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Great. Thanks for having me.